The first thing you gotta do when you boot up Lost Ark is choose a class. But what class are you gonna choose? There are 5 classes that each have their own set of individual subclasses. So to make this decision a bit easier so you don't spend an hour agonizing over this choice, let's take a look at these classes in a handy dandy little video guide. I'm Jamie Latour, and this guide will help you figure out which class to play. Let's start right at the top with the Warrior. Do you like stabbing things? Well then the Warrior class has 3 subclasses that may suit you. First, there's the Berserker, who specializes in AoE attacks and whose identity ability involves some classic Berserker rage. Then there's the Gun Lancer, who's your big, slow, tanky boy who can create a shield that defends your team. The Paladin is more of a support class who can buff and heal the team, although he likely does the least damage of the 3 Warrior subclasses. If you just want to smash things, the Berserker is a ton of fun, although his defense may be the lowest among the Warrior subclasses. However, if you're going to be playing with a team of other players, the Gun Lancer will be good for tanking, and the Paladin will be your go-to Warrior support class when playing with other Lost Arkers. Next up is the Mage, who, as you might suspect, is all about the magic. You'll have 2 magical subclasses here to choose from. The Bard is one of the best options for a support class other than the Paladin. She's got a magic harp that can buff and heal teammates, and she's got some decent spells that could do a bit of damage. Meanwhile, the Sorceress is your go-to magic user with tons of high damage spells, although she's unsurprisingly very squishy. This choice really comes down to how you want to play your magic user. If you want to heal your team, go Bard. If you just want to blast some fools, well then you have to go Sorceress. The Martial Artist is all about getting up close and punching people in the face. This class has 4 subclasses, although one of them is locked to a specific gender. The War Dancer is a fantastic choice for new players due to her high mobility and low ability cooldowns, although she's a bit lacking when it comes to long-range or AoE attacks. The Scrapper is a little slower and has longer attack animations, but hits harder and is a bit tankier. The Soul Fist has more ranged attacks and can act as an alternate support alongside a Paladin or Bard, and they're a good choice if you want to get into the PvP part of this game. The Striker subclass is only available when you play as a male martial artist, and it's a good all-around class with its decent mobility and low cooldowns, although it can be a bit tricky to get the hang of. All of these subclasses are pretty useful, so it really depends on whether you're focusing on PvE or PvP. Personally, I went with the War Dancer because she can turn into a giant tornado. I'm a simple man. I see a tornado girl, I'm sold. The Gunner class has guns. I mean, that's all you really need to say about that, isn't it? It's got 4 subclasses, and like the Martial Artist, one of them is locked to a gender. The Gunslinger and Deadeye classes are actually very similar, with the key difference being that the Gunslinger is the subclass locked to Lady Gunners. They both get to use a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle. They have high mobility, and they can do some major damage, although they are very squishy. The Sharpshooter is essentially the Archer class that has some stealth abilities. It's a pretty versatile class, although you better land your shots. Then there's my boy, the Artillerist. If you just want to blow stuff up, this is your class. He gets a big-ass gun that has plenty of powerful AoE attacks, although he is a tad slow. All of the Gunner subclasses make for good long-range fighters, so it really depends on whether you prefer mobility, accuracy, or getting to turn into a giant turret and cause mass destruction. Finally, we have the Assassin class, who's all about backstabbing and front stabbing. The Shadow Hunter gets double blades, is proficient in melee and long-range attacks, and is a good balanced class with solid damage and mobility. Then there's the much cooler sounding Deathblade, who does some heavy damage, has high mobility, but also has some long cooldowns on their abilities. Assassins are good for PvE, but with their high damage output, this is likely the best class if you're thinking about getting involved in Lost Ark's PvP. Hopefully this class overview has given you an idea of how to begin your Lost Ark journey. For more Lost Ark news and guides, check out thegamer.com. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and stab something, or blow it up, or punch it. I don't know, just get out there and kill something.